everybody, it's Mike Newman. It's Monday morning finish line. We're back for the track season. February 26th, I think it is, almost the end of February. Track season starts to roll around now, or saw some good meets this weekend. The last time we talked, it was, I think, right before NXN or something like that. So I was going to do one more show and everything kind of whatever. So we'll talk a little bit about the end of the cross-country season at the end of this. But first, let's talk about this weekend. Let's start with Proviso West, and I know you're waiting for it, and you're not going to get all of it. I don't think, and I said this at the meet on Saturday, I haven't had to jump through so many, I don't have to jump through so many circles the week, you know, rings or whatever, before the state meet, any of the state meets. This meet, the Proviso West meet, you know what, it ran great this year, and we'll talk about that in a second. But you shouldn't have to go through so much stress to get to that point. Proviso West had a great facility, and they still do. It's a 200-meter track. People want to get on there. But when it's not run well, like it was at the Valentine Relays, where you had 3 events, 33 races, it took 5.5 hours to run, and this meet with about 70 races was running the same amount of time. So people are not going to want to come to the facility. Even if they upgrade the facility, if you run it poorly, you're not going to want to come. And that's it in any place. That's just human expectation. This meet ran off well. It clicked, and that, you know, Art Paul, the coach at Bolingbrook, he clerked the crap out of that meet. That's the nicest way I can say that, and he did great. I mean, it was, you know, I'm sitting down for a second. I need to sit down. I've been standing for 3 hours, and they're on the line, ready for their next race. So it clicked like that, like that. It had the capacity crowd at Proviso watching some great races. There were some great races. It was a loaded meet. But when you're bouncing along and you're not doing that, and that's happened in the past, but Art did a great job. There were no problems in the relay exchanges. Donnie Hellberg was in charge of that from Wheaton North, and Donnie did great. So that meet flowed smoothly. And there were some great performances there. Another thing about Proviso, no pole vault. Now, I guess the AD sent out something at the beginning of the year saying that, you know, our pit isn't good. We can't use that in major invitationals. Yet, they take entries for the pole vault. No communication going on. That's not my problem. That's not our problem. They have to deal with that. But that's been going on for a while now. And you know what? You don't want to have teams at that meet or at any of your meets. Fine. You've got a new facility that's going up in Burlington Central in the next year. You've got a great facility at Huntley, Batavia, York, North Central, Olivet, Lewis University, University of Chicago, even though it's like 90% humidity all the time up there. But they have a great track too. But you've got these great tracks. You got up at Parkside and up at Carthage, where we usually go. I didn't get the results from Antioch. What are the results? So enough of that. Let's talk about the meet. 3,200 meter run. Watch the end of this race.
Looks like 1 to go.
What a great finish. Mendez and Brady And you know, you're thinking, oh my gosh, well, you know, Mendez ran 9:01 last year. What's wrong with him? He ran 9:26. He ran a good double. He came back and ran 4:27 in the mile, and then ran a great leg in the 400. You know, in the 4x4. Guess what? You build towards. You don't want to be peaking right now. It's May and June, because we're going to have a ton of kids that are going to be running in June. I can tell you that right now in Illinois. But a great race, 4:42 at the mile. Watch the race on Runner Space Plus on the Proviso West meet page. What can we say? A great race. You saw the finish there, where it was eyeball to eyeball between him and Brady. Brady came back and ran 4:33 in the mile. The mile, great mile. Mendez pushed the pace for the first half. They went through in about 2:13. Suida from down in Scrip South takes the lead, and Charles Harder just sat and waited and waited. His patience was great, and then just takes off with the quarter to go, wins. Runs 4:21 for a full mile, about 4 seconds ahead of Suida and Vietzen, Matt Vietzen from Oak Park River Forest. The 800 Joey Simon blew away the field, 157, won by about 2 seconds ahead of Meyer, and it's a long weekend, and Sean O'Connell from Hinsdale Central. Charlie Kern is back. I know there was a fast 600 at Olivet. Kern wasn't really pushed, ran about 125 easy. He's back. He looked good, he's healthy, he's smiling, and that's a cool thing. So, great race there. Check out the finish of this mile relay, too.
East St. Louis is closing the gap. Proviso East seems to be holding them off. Can they do it as they come into the home straightaway? East St. Louis with the potentially a leading move on the inside.
3:27 for East St. Louis.
East St. Louis is East St. Louis, okay. They ran 3:27. Proviso East leading most of the way, 3:27 also. East St. Louis is going to be 2A. They're going to kill everybody in that mile relay at the end, you know, in May. And Proviso East looks like they're going to be the favorite in 3A. So, interesting. It's the end of February. Let's not get too excited on that. Olivet. Wow. Now, John Meyer was 4th last year in Nationals, if I remember right. This year, he starts off his season 65-6, 2 fouls that his coach said, yeah, we're nipping right at 68 feet. Jeez, he over-nipped on in the shot put. 68-4, best ever indoors or outdoors by an Illinois athlete. Tip of the hat to you, John. But that 68-4 isn't going to stand. We're not going to put that in concrete because he's going to go farther than that this year. You know, Geist, I think Jordan Geist from Pennsylvania, from Knock, Pennsylvania last year, was getting up there early in the year, 69, 70 feet, just continued to climb and get better and better, and I can see that with Meyer. Olivet meet went co-ed this year, and there were, I mean, there weren't that many teams on the girls' side. You had Anyeva Michelin, 2:59, winning by 14 seconds in the 800. Number 3 time in the state, behind Marasco and Sullivan. Then she came back and ran 5:04, won by about 10 seconds over Madison Brownig of Lincoln Way Central. So a great double by Michelin. On the boys' side, jeez, Marcellus Morris equals his best time, 6:83 in the 60 meters, wins ahead of Joshua Bridges, who's going to be a runner to watch outdoors also. Bridges looks good, ran 6:88, has run 6:88 this year. The relay, Plainfield North, 1:31.43, and when you got Marcellus Moore in there, jeez, give me a break. So they won by about 4 seconds ahead of Lockport. Zach Kinney. Now everybody's looking at Brady next fall for cross country, but Kinney is just, last week runs 4:17. This weekend by himself, 9:09. And we haven't seen Kilray at 3,200. I doubt we're going to see Danny indoors. I believe his first race is going to be the Texas distance meet outdoors in Texas in the middle of March, so he might not be running conference either. We'll have to wait and see. Saw Danny on Saturday. He looked great. He's ready to go. He's academic All-State Gatorade Runner of the Year, and Danny's just ready to go, looking at some big things later on this spring. Also, that 600 we were talking about, where there were like about 10 or 12 guys at about 128 or under, just disgustingly good. But Philip Hall from Danville, you know, we're looking at Joey Simon and Charlie Kern in the 800 this year, maybe. You got to look at Philip Hall too, 122.92 in the 600. See him running 152, 151 at the end of the year. Great run. We talked about Michelin, we talked about Moore, we talked about Meyer. Good. Homewood-Flossmoor girls meet. You know, not going to talk about hype or anything like that. It was a good meet, not a super meet. It was a good meet. It was a good meet for the end of February. We'll see better performances at the end of the year. But the surprising thing about this, Amani Carruthers of Brooks College Prep, she said you know, it was one of those things that she worked on other things during the year. She didn't triple jump indoors and got outdoors. She was triple jumping on last Saturday, 39 feet and a quarter inch. I think she's 11th or 12th nationally. Serena Bolden second at 38.3. Jayla Campbell at Bloom on Friday night jumped 38.10. Great run by her, or great jump by her. Amira Wilson, well, let's talk about Carruthers. 19.11 3/4. Number 4 in the nation. Serena Bolden is Southeast, Springfield Southeast, 19.6. She's U.S. number 7. At the same time that this is going on, at Galesburg, Erica Furbeck, 20 feet 1.5 inches is right now number 2 in the nation, best in the state so far. Hey, we're going to get to watch Carruthers and Furbeck jump against each other at top times, hopefully, at the end of March. That'll be fun. But some great performances in the jumps this weekend. Also, Amira Wilson, 7.58, ties for number 1 in the state. 0.02 of a second ahead of Amira Young. Amira Young also ran the 400, got 3rd in that. Also ran on her team's winning 4x4 relay, which is number 3 in the state right now at about 4:07. DeJour Miles, 3rd in the 60. She also won the 200, 25-35, I think. And then the 400, she won by over 3 seconds, like 56 seconds. And she ran 54 seconds on, you know, Kentucky's oversized track. And at Homewood-Flossmoor, you can't wear spikes because they're trying to preserve the track. But you can't wear spikes there. So the 56-second time is impressive. Jocelyn Long wasn't a great distance meet. I mean, Jocelyn Long ran 11:01. It's number 3 in the state right now. But she won by over a minute, lapped everybody. She had no competition. So that 11:01 is a little more impressive because she did all the work. And she comes back and runs 5:13 in the mile, wins by 28 seconds. She basically lapped the majority of the field there. So 5:13, I think it's number 10 in the state. We had the best time in the state at Argo this weekend. Remember, did I write her name down? I did. Good. Abby Lopez. Remember her at Hinsdale Central where she just seemed like she came out of nowhere, the sophomore, and won the Hinsdale Central sectional. I think she got 6th at state the following week at Detweiler. 10:56 by herself, winning by about 40 seconds. Gotta keep an eye on her this spring. Interesting to see what she does if she can stay healthy. She had hip problems in the fall where she missed most of the season. She's a talent that is waiting to go. Where else? So we talked about Homewood-Flossmoor, Argo, Galesburg, Bloom. At Bloom, the boys meet on Saturday. Frank Massey of Bloom, 23:10, long jump. Like number 7, number 8 nationally, best jump so far this year in the state. At Joliet, didn't see this. Well, Joliet, there's no competition there. Dylan Jacobs ran 4:17 solo, and so he'll probably run in a few weeks. I think maybe getting ready for New Balance indoors. I'm not sure. but Sandberg's 4x8 relay will be interesting to watch at the Mustang Relays in a couple of weeks. Then Huntley, Zach Albright basically ran 420.96 by himself in the 1600 meter run. There were some great sprints. Dubam Akinamandu of Huntley was all state in the sprints last year, 6:99, winning by 0.2 of a second. It was like he crossed and then everybody else came in. But 6:99 is good. Top 5, top 6 time in the state right now, or top 7, something like that. But the funny thing, Huntley was like a spur of the moment thing going to that meet. But check out this first exchange from the 4x8.
Get it out there! What an, oh my gosh, what a cluster. All I can say is, what a cluster. Well, that was fun.
I'm still just shaking my head. It was funny. You see that every once in a while, yeah, and it's nothing against Huntley. They ran a fantastic meet. But that was just something that happens at a track meet. So we got all of that. And there were other things that happened across the state this weekend. Check out the results on athletic.net. You can find those there under Illinois. And also check out our recap on ilxctf.com. So I didn't get a chance to talk about the end of the cross-country season. Foot Locker was just crazy. That day was a crazy day. You see fantastic race by Dylan Jacobs coming from behind, passing Danny Kilray. 3 Illinois runners in the top 10. Dylan Jacobs, the national champion, and Kilray 3rd. And then Clayton Mendez, who is 15th with a half mile to go, and he gets 9th. A lot of killer instinct with those 3 runners. And then on the girls' side, Caitlin Hart passing Olivia Thies, getting 2nd behind Claudia Lane. And then Sarah Schmidt getting 8th. Sarah Schmidt getting 8th at both NXN and Foot Locker. And then you've seen Hart and Kilray and Jacobs and Mendez all going to Scotland for the great Edinburgh Cross Country Challenge, and they ran great. They ran spectacular. Now Danny Kilray leading the United States team, getting 4th, and all that. Was going to write about the at-large process of Nike, of the NXN meet. I've got a lot of facts. It's not fiction. There are a lot of facts here. This is, Danny Kilray gave this to me. Nice little LT XC versus everybody. I got to find another place on the wall. Maybe on that wall over there. Lions Township should have been in a large team, but there's so much politics that goes on with the selection, and need to get the politics out of there. I have some good ideas, but let's get through track season. I've written them down. I haven't put them in. Screw political correct words. I don't know. Hey, that's me. But that'll come up after. Let's get through track season, and when we get ready for cross country, let's talk about that. So one more thing. Everybody knows by now the passing of Mr. Newton, and that was we had Foot Locker during the day, and then talking to the Dice editor, Doug Binder, saying, didn't Illinois have a great day? Yeah, they had a fantastic day. And then finding out a couple of hours later. And it was just crazy. I don't know what I can say that I already haven't said. You know, I wrote a memoriam article, which was the toughest thing for me to write. And that's still up on ilxctf.com. There were a lot of great notes on Facebook. I received a couple of negative things via text and via email that I'll never forget. I have a long memory, and but we're not going to talk about that. But you kind of get a feeling on some people that whatever. But seeing everybody at the memorial service, it was like a who's who. I think Tom Sullivan was there, Jim Spivey was there, Pope, Ken Popejoy was there, Al Karras, Grammy, Frank Grammaroso, and Mike Durkin, just so many great Illinois runners. We went out after the memorial service, like 3.5 hours sitting in this place in Elmhurst with listening to stories from Ron Craker, stories I hadn't heard about him running in the state meet. They're great stories, and stories about Mr. Newton. So, you know, there were a ton of tears during the week before the memorial in December, every once in a while now. But there were so many funny things and so many great things that I heard, and I'll carry those on. I'm not going to say anything else. I've written enough about the memoriam, about the lessons learned. I wrote some of the things that Mr. Newton was named posthumously into the NSAF High School Track and Field Hall of Fame. I wrote some of that stuff. So whatever I've said. I really have nothing else to say. A lot of things that I learned from that man, and I'm so grateful for that. So, all that aside, he's one of the reasons why Illinois is so great in distance running, and why it just continues to carry on with so many great teams, with Nequa, with the guys that we talked about at NXN, and it carries on because he started that. So, okay, this weekend coming up, wow, busy weekend. NCC Cardinal Classic Girls Meet on Thursday, York Boys Invitational Friday, Windy City Pole Vault Summit, going to be back there again. Illinois pole vaulting is going through the roof. Illinois is going through the roof. We have 3 girls athletes in the top 10 in the long jump. We have John Meyer leading in the shot put nationally right now. There are a lot of great things going on in Illinois right now. And then we have the Mustang Relays next Monday. There are so many great things going on in Illinois right now. Let's not call it a golden age. This is the age that we're in right now. And it's just going to keep getting better because there are so many great athletes. We've got some great coaches that are doing some great things right now in this state. And they're, high school coaches, not club, that are just bouncing their way, athletes getting better and better. So we're going to see John Meyer graduate. Well, who's next? Maybe Hunter Hendershot from Muhammad Seymour. 53 feet so far as a sophomore. Zachary Bradford's vaulting 17.8 in the pole vault. He has a freshman teammate, that Logan McGill, I think, who's already gone 13.6 as a freshman. So it's just building. It's a mountain that's building. But it's so nice to see Illinois athletes doing great. And we have some class athletes in this state. So that's it. Let's keep this thing going, keep it rolling. Great meets coming up, and it just gets bigger when we get outdoors, when we get closer to the big blue oval in Charleston. So until the next time that we talk, it's Mike Newman from Monday Morning Finish Line. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Next week.